Welcome back to Garage Talk with me, Garage Guy. We've got a freshly shaven Dale Tanhardt in the house.
I
That
knew it
pretty
was coming.
face. It's so nice. And we got the man himself just signed a deal with GMS Racing Truck Series, soon to be Craftsman man. It is Rajah Caruth in the Building on Garage Talk. We've been trying to make this one happen for a while, so we're going to have some fun. We're going to learn a lot about Rajah today. We're going to learn what kind of razor Dale uses to shave his face clean. And then, yeah, lots to talk about. Well, I will tell you this much, Dale. I know you probably have some things to say about our good friends at Hooters. Are you excited to get wing sauce on your clean face now?
Yeah, well, look, the beard's going to be back. And yeah, before we get into all this, don't forget Hooters is a dream during football season, just like it is for racing season. It's for race day, it's for game day. Don't forget promo code Garage Guys saves you $10 on any dine-in order, $40 or more. Tell them Dine and Dale sent you. I feel like we've beaten this to death, and I think we should beat it to death one more time. We should start out by asking Rajah. I just want to make sure. We had Blaney on the show a couple days ago. You don't eat wings with a fork and knife, do you?
We have to know.
No, but I like chicken fingers better.
Your chicken fingers,
that's
guy.
fair. That's fair.
Okay.
Oh, valid question. I know Hooters. Y'all obviously have a partnership with them. Since I'm a bachelor, right? For business purposes, what is a better place to go, Hooters or Twin Peaks, or is there another?
It's just Hooters everywhere. Any restaurant is Hooters.
I think Hooters does have. This is unbiased. I think Hooters does have the best experience when it comes to the food, quality of the food, and the quality of the experience you get as well. And honestly, it's very unbiased. That's yes, and you can save money by going and using our promo code too. So you add that on top of it, you save money along with the experience. You get everything you can ask for at Hooters.
It is. That's right. Garage Guys, $10 off any $30 or more order when you use promo code Garage Guys. And you ready for fine print, Rajah? I got some fine print. Valid participating locations for delivery and care orders only, $30 or more. That was fine print.
Yeah, what you said. Yeah,
for legal purposes. But enough of fine print, but never enough of Hooters. But we got to talk about you, Rajah. It's been an awesome news week for you. You have just signed with GMS Racing, if not what I feel one of the, if not the top of the line truck team in the Craftsman Truck Series. This is a big move. You're going to be in the 24. Just start us off. Just how did all this get put together? How are you feeling? I mean, I thought you had on a turtleneck when we first got on the show. I thought you had the turtleneck and chain. You were feeling yourself. It was just like to the top. You know what I mean? It's never a bad look. I love it. But how are you feeling, man?
I'm not out of the woods yet, bro, because I still got finals. Yeah.
College.
Yeah. See, all right. Hear me out. Okay. Basically, well, I guess to answer your question, yes, it's been a great week professionally, but it's just finals is hard, man. School is hard, but okay, I'll answer your question. So it's been a very busy last 2 weeks, I would say. Honestly, the last month, from signing to keeping it under wraps as much as possible, even though it still somehow got leaked too. Really the process of venue for the announcement and getting all the details lined up, paint scheme. Well, the fun parts of like paint schemes and fire suits and stuff and colorways. It's been very stressful, but it's great to finally have it done. And honestly, back earlier this year when I started to hit the ground running, in the ARCA stuff, and then with the handful of Xfinity races and the truck races, like Petty GMS and GMS were like really the first like legitimate, outreach in terms of like showing interest, in me as a driver, not kind of a situation where they can benefit for like if I can bring sponsorship money or like what I can bring for the team. It was a situation of we want you and we're going to do all in our power to make that happen. And that is why they were at the top of the list. You know, that's why I'm driving for them.
Yeah, it's awesome seeing what GMS has done, not just on the truck side, but the cup side as well. I saw on Twitter the other day that you took a picture with old 7-time Jimmy Johnson. How was that experience getting to know him a little bit? And were you a Jimmy Johnson fan growing up?
Yeah, bro. All right. So look, so this is what happened. I got my hair cut that morning, and so I was running a little behind because I just didn't manage my time well. That's one of my New Year's resolutions. So
We know all about that.
Yes. So I was walking in like through the building or whatever, and then Dana, who works for Chevrolet and GM, subtly said that Jimmy was here. I was like, Jay, the GOAT, like James Jimmy Johnson. And she was like, yeah. And bro, I'm not gonna lie, I definitely almost cried when I see him in person, because I was like, there's no way that this is like happening right now. And so I went to the back, like nobody knows this. But
Breaking news on Garage Talk.
Breaking news. I definitely went to the bathroom and was just like, y'all know that SpongeBob caveman meme?
Dale Wood.
Yes.
He was a big SpongeBob.
Yes.
It was a little before
yeah.
my time.
So that was me in the bathroom. I can't disclose my emotions in the restroom, but I left out there ready to roll. It was great because Jimmy Johnson was my favorite driver growing up. I dressed up as him for Halloween when I was seven.
I have to see that picture. I need a picture of that.
Yeah, it's on. I'll send you all of them. I put one of them on Twitter. Like I remember watching him win every single championship from when I was like here to like because I've been the same height since I was like 15. So I remember every single one of his championships, and to be in any way affiliated with him, let alone like be able to rely on him and get the advice from, in my opinion, the greatest of all time is it's really special.
Dude, I gotta say that I think that's really cool. Sorry, Chase. I have to admit that I resonate with you because I wasn't a Jimmy Johnson fan. I actually was a Jimmy Johnson hater because I was a Jeff Gordon fan and a Dale Earnhardt Jr. fan. Earlier this year at Talladega, look,
this is what I was going to talk about.
He won too much. But I have to admit as well that I resonate with you because I met Dale Jr. for the first time at Talladega. Shook hands with him and talked to him for a good minute. And I will not disclose my emotions I had in the RV, but it was probably similar to the emotions you had when you met Jimmy Johnson. So I feel you 110% on that.
Yeah, I was there for that. That's exactly what I was going to bring up. I was like, I think I've kind of seen this story play out in maybe a sense if you and Dale kind of had the same experience. But I think it's always amazing when you get to meet your heroes and you get to kind of be, and especially, dude, for you to get to work with them is even more of an incredible thing, right? Yeah, mind-blowing, dude. And so Jimmy getting involved with Petty this year too, like that was already a big news break. So it couldn't have worked out more perfect. And I'm stoked for you that like you get all of that packaged in kind of this one thing, man. It's going to be huge because we're big truck night in America, guys. So obviously it brings more electricity to truck night now. And then with Jimmy being a part of it, GMS being a part of it, it couldn't be a better time for all of this to be going down. But I do, we'll keep rolling into this. So just a little bit for your backstory in case anybody's watching doesn't really know a lot about Rajah. Obviously, you kind of started your career path through iRacing. Is that correct?
Yeah, I the only reason why I started racing was because of the game of video games. So I grew up in DC, and I was the biggest NASCAR fan in probably the DMV because there's not really that many racing people in that, especially in DC proper. Yeah. And so for me, I mean, I had no options, no connections. So I raced like NASCAR 15 on PlayStation, then moved to iRacing when I was a sophomore in high school, this is kind of funny. So summer 2018, I had a summer job, or my second ever summer job. And I ran track at the time. So I had track workouts. And then in between those two things, I would be on my rig. So my whole summer, surprisingly, where like a lot of my friends would like be going out and stuff, it just at times I'll be like, damn, this is kind of lame, because I'm not like going out and doing stuff, but I was just on my rig, or I say rig, it was really my school laptop. I connected HDMI to like a 20-inch TV and put it on my desk with a $80 Thrustmaster wheel, and that was my rig for a good 2 years. So that's how it started.
Yeah. We call that the Timmy special.
6 to 8 months.
Yeah, I was saying we call it the Tim. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes,
Okay.
that's exactly.
That's kind of like, it's similar to how this is my iRacing rig right here. I just put my steering wheel back up on a very shaky desk, as you can see right here. I'm an amateur though,
Did you ever use this as a steering wheel? This
Yes,
PlayStation 2 controller?
Yes. Well, not the PS2, the PS3.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. See, yeah.
There
I'm
you
an
go.
old guy. I'm realizing this now a lot more in my life.
Yeah, I was curious about your perspective, because we grew up in the deep South. I grew up in South Mississippi. I'm
sorry.
What's that?
I have no clue where that is. I'm sorry.
South Mississippi?
New Orleans.
I'm not
area.
surprised.
That's where we're.
Yeah,
that's
there
where
you
we're from. From
That's
New
a good
Orleans
reference
area.
point.
Cool.
Anyway, wow, they just threw shade at Mississippi like that. How are we gonna?
Yeah,
well,
I said New
feel you.
Orleans. He didn't throw shade there. So shout out to Louisiana. That's where we're from, baby. That's how we do it.
But I was wondering how your experience was growing up in DC, which is, as you kind of said, not really like a NASCAR market. I grew up in South Mississippi. I got about 5 years on you on age, and I grew up in the deep South with no friends that like NASCAR. So I wonder how that was for you growing up in a slightly different time, slightly different era, in a market where NASCAR, I don't know if it was non-existent, but certainly not as popular as it would be in the South.
I mean, that's a good question, man. It was literally only me. Like, there was a point in time that I definitely got picked on for being the only kid that cared about and cared about racing. And so that was kind of a little difficult at times, but that kind of just made my passion for it and interest for it like even more stronger, just because like it just made my obsession grow even more. And then for me, like and I'm still a pretty reserved dude, but I was a reserved kid. So, I wasn't the one to really go and hang out a lot of times. So a lot of the times I would just leave school, get on the train, get home, and come to watch, Xfinity or Cup practice, or just play PlayStation and just take in as much as I could.
I love to
That's
hear that.
really cool. That's great insight.
You talk about the train too. I miss riding train. I lived in New York for like a year, so I used to love riding the train. I think from what I've read, you lived in Brooklyn for a while as well, right?
Yeah,
Shout
but
out to it.
I was like little though, but my sister was born there. So,
Yeah.
but I know me, man. I took the train to school every day, either the train or the bus. It just depended, especially if it was cold.
Put your perspective in view, like really, like you're growing up in a big area like that. I feel like can give you a lot, because like Dale and I, we grew up in more smaller towns, obviously, right? So for me, I always wanted to be in this big giant city, like my whole life. Like that's where I wanted to be. That's where everything was, So you kind of get that. Basically, you had that. So coming from that right there, I mean, it's just the exposure, the things you're exposed to in larger cities, man. I just feel like it's definitely a whole new vibe and can open your world up in a lot of different ways too, which is a good thing.
I agree so much. You get opened up to so many different people of different like backgrounds, ethnicities, and cultures. So, it makes it so that if you stay in that place for your whole life, you're always prepared to travel elsewhere and interact in different environments. And honestly, I'm a big comic book or superhero nerd. So I definitely felt like, have you seen the animated Spider-Verse movie?
I've watched the one with Miles as Spider-Man. So I went and took my son to see that one in theaters. That was a great, dude. It was so good. Like it honestly, like, I don't know if it won awards, but I feel like it should have for an animated film.
1000%. So I don't know how this comes across as, but a lot of times, like I felt like him, like taking the train and just like being with my headphones on, just like in my own world.
Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy, like how, like I said, like being an inner city kid and now like living in North Carolina and kind of traveling across the country is pretty insane.
Yeah,
I want to
that's a big
know.
fast thing.
I'm not a big Marvel guy. I will say that. So what I'm going to do is shift the conversation to something that I am interested in and wondering if you're interested in, which is Washington's a great sports town. You got the Wizards and obviously you have the Commanders, the Nationals. Did you grow up interested in sticking ball sports, and what's like your biggest fandom that you have in the city?
So actually I ran track. I played basketball and soccer. I was honestly like, I won a handful of like conference awards like throughout my time running track. So if I didn't race, I would have, I guess would have done something speed related. But to be honest, I was a big, and I still am a big stick and ball sport guy. Wizards are my favorite team, love them to death. And it was a great like couple of years where like the Mystics won, the Capitals won, and the Nationals in like a 3 or 4 year span. And like that was when I was like at the end of high school. So like I could go and do things. And so the city was very lit when, they won. The Wizards and the Commanders, not so much in the last little bit, but it'll be a time for that at some point. And I'm a big stick and ball sport guy. And as most cities go through, there's ups and downs. There's good teams and bad teams, or good eras and bad eras. And honestly, I'll transition to say I think I'm the best, or I know I'm the best basketball player in the top 3 series in NASCAR. So
okay,
dude. All right, we'll have to test that.
We need to test this theory, yeah. Because now you've got me wanting to make a basketball tournament amongst.
I used to be a good basketball player too. If I lost about 30 pounds, I could probably hoop with you and keep up, maybe.
Big ankle high sock guy.
Oh yeah,
man, that's fundamentals right there. That's bank shot and in the corner. That's exactly.
When I played every day, I was called Ginobili. Everybody said I was like Manu. Yeah, which I'm not a Spurs guy. But couldn't you see it? I need a little bit of a receding hairline, though.
I wasn't going there, but
I'm more of the Rodman type.
I hated the Spurs, so I do not care. Mm-hmm. But with the Wizards, man, Bradley Beal's been a great bright spot. The John Wall era was really fun with the Wizards. What about? Go ahead. I want your thoughts on old Bradley Beal. He's been real loyal to you guys.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he could have took a max anywhere else, but he's staying true to DC, and I really like that. And I will say also, I tore my ACL last year. No, not really anybody knows about this, but okay. So I won.
Breaking news on Garage Talk.
Breaking news part 2. All right, so I won a late model race in Tri-County, May 1st of last year. The day after, I was bored. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go play basketball. Why would I? And then I went downtown. And then there were some like randoms running 5-on-5. So I was like, all right, it's fine. So it was a fast break, and I went up for a layup, and dude just tried to chase down LeBron me. And I made the layup, but I landed awkward and tore my ACL.
Damn, that's like didn't Denny Hamlin do that a few years back and miss some time? Didn't he do that 1 year?
Just playing hoops on the street, dude. Tearing ACLs.
Was it worth it?
No, because I was literally dunking before that.
Easy answer.
I will send you the video. I was able to dunk, and I'm 5'8". I could dunk off 1 foot, and I couldn't catch alley oops yet, but I was getting there, and I sold it. So I've been scared to jump.
5'8".
So now, okay. So now you're scared.
You ain't telling fairy tales right now, huh?
You want to see my ID? What do you mean?
I might need to see you jump. I might need you to get out the car and jump.
Video. This is my ID. 5'8".
I know you're 5'8". I've seen you.
We're not skeptical about the height.
But I'm talking about this. How high is the rim? How high is the rim?
10-foot hoop. I will text you the video.
Okay,
that's 5 feet, bro.
I think I believe you.
You probably got them New Balances on. You got the New Balances.
I had some running shoes on when I took the video, so that even shows you I had hops.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes it a little bit harder, huh?
All right, I'll hold you to it. I'll take your word, but yeah, I'm still gonna have to see. We're gonna have to put this to the test. So when I get back to North Carolina, when I come up there, what we're gonna do, we'll make sure that we're in a good ACL non-tearing environmental, that's friendly for that. So we won't tear ACLs, and we'll see hoops.
I'm not gonna try to dunk again.
So you retired from that now?
Tired from that. I'm just
that's convenient for you. Yeah.
I'm fundamentals guy now.
I think I would retire
like
too.
Larry Bird, baby.
If I had I think I would retire too if I had a full-time racing career ahead.
Yeah.
With Truck Night in America.
Like I hurt myself, and then the week after we raced Nashville, and then the week after we raced Dover. And Dover, I blew right front, and that was probably the worst feeling thing ever because you wreck at Dover, and then my knee still messed up. So it was just that was a fun little 3 weeks, man.
Was that wreck, everything considered, was that wreck worse than Pocono this year? Because I remember that one. That was a really, really hard hit.
In terms of like how it felt?
Yeah, just physical feeling on your body. Yeah.
I think the Dover one felt harder, but honestly, the hardest hit I've had was at Bristol in the truck, because like how it I hit on the side, we didn't have window obviously, so it crushed part of the center section. So that was probably the hardest hit I've ever had.
I understand how you feel. I raced at GoPro one time and got T-bone going 20 miles per hour, and it really hurt a lot.
You were there actually. We were all there together at GoPro for the was that off?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's where we met.
That's where we talked, because I tried to get Rajah to be like, hey, disguise yourself as me and go race for me in this race. And he's like, what? He's like, everybody will know. And I'm like, that's the point. You know what I mean? I want to get a fake mustache for you and you wear my jacket and be like, I'm garage guy. I'm going to race the race, Also too, so we're talking about the DC stuff. Obviously I don't really know if there's ever been a NASCAR driver from DC, specifically per se. I know Virginia itself, there's been drivers, but from the actual city of DC, are you the first native of DC to become a NASCAR driver?
Yes, but
what?
You know who was born in DC?
Who?
Bill France.
Bill France. Okay, so the owner of NASCAR, so suit and tie guy, but not fire suit guy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I did not know that.
Look it up. Bill France, the original Bill France Sr. He was born in Washington, D.C. in 1914.
Well, mainly the fact that you're the first driver to come out of DC. That's what blows my mind. I would have never.
That's history already written. It's done. So now you've got these companies. Obviously, for one, you got the whole sports scene. You've got all maybe now we can see all of the Mount Rushmore characters from the Nationals games that go run. We can see them come to a race. That'd be cool. We can have them race at a race, dude. That would be electric. Maybe Richmond.
Yes.
So we could do something like that. And then you've got New Balance. So I saw you had your ad out for New Balance. I want to ask you quickly, big 624 guy. What's your favorite New Balances that you have in your closet? Shoes, I love them.
My favorite is the 990 Grays. That is the quintessential DC New Balance shoe. And I had a pair earlier this year, and somebody stole them at IRP because our haulers weren't on inside the racetrack.
Oh, that place was wide open, bro.
Yeah.
We were there for that. Damn, I wish I'd known you were there for that. Why didn't we know that Roz was there? We've been to every race you've been to, bro. And I'm just realizing that.
Because we were in the ARCA race. We were not good. So it's probably a good thing.
That's funny. I had my favorite pair of shades stolen at IRP.
He did.
So we got a big problem with. I love IRP actually, but
Erp is full of thieves.
Erp. Love that.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy.
Y'all need to get Shady Rays. I had to. They're really good. You can see your reflection.
You don't even have it. See, I'm a big Club Masters guy. I stick to my Ray-Ban Club Masters, my Formula One Ray-Bans.
I'm
Ferrari.
I'm hate right now.
It's all right. You can wear them. I'll let you wear them here. What's the name of them?
Shady Rays.
All right. I do like the fact that like right up there in the center, like there's no like gap. It's just all one thing right there. You know, what do you got?
I don't
there?
actually. These are these like NASCAR themed ones. I forgot. I think didn't Harris give us
That's
these?
the one Harris sent us. Yeah.
Yeah, these are cool. I don't like them on me though, but
I'm gonna be.
Yeah,
I like Harris Loop, but those look like gas station sunglasses.
I like. Look, hey, I'm from Mississippi. Like most of my needs come from gas stations. Rajah,
Yeah,
you
we're big
realize
gas, dude. I had gas station club masters until we like finally started doing work, and then I rewarded myself. I was like, as soon as I get me a deal or something like that, I'm gonna go buy some real club masters because I wasn't about to spend like $200 on some club masters at the time. So I spent $7 like on new ones like every 3 months. You know, that's how I roll, and I've taken care of these to this day. They're very sentimental to me. I love them. But yeah, sunglasses are good. They're good because you don't have to hurt your eyes. So shout out to sunglasses for that matter. Other things too. So with DC, like who are some of like the big influences that you have from there, and like how do you think that DC could move to make more people in the inner city embrace the sport through you, basically, of like what you can bring to that area?
Wow, that's a good question.
Yeah, I hit you with the hard ones after we talk about gas station sunglasses. That's how it rolls here.
he's worried about finals, and you gotta put his brain.
He's got to study and shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think growing up for me, it was John Wall and Bradley Beal were, the 2-star guards of the Wizards, and those were 2 guys to look up to. And then obviously like President Obama when he was in office, that was right when I was, middle school through high school through his whole presidency. So that was a big role model, in the DC area for us, as adolescent Black men. And I think now to be kind of in a situation where I can pay that back is really is very cool. And I'm very humbled by it. And so that being said, man, like every day I just try to, be respectful and work hard. And hopefully that, and I'm not doing this for, any sort of reason besides the, just my obsession with it. I feel like it's my purpose, and, any of the side effects that come out of it that are positive, I'm welcome for all of that. So, I mean, my motto on a daily basis is work hard and be nice to people, and feel like that's all I can do.
That was a great answer. That was a really good answer. Well, I want to make you not be nice for just this question. You talk about you were a big Jimmy Johnson guy growing up. Now you're alongside him, which is awesome, as we talked about. What drivers did you grow up disliking or hating? And I know you had to have had one. Now you might be racing alongside of them coming up in 2023. I want to know, who did you not like? Like, I did not like Jimmy Johnson. I like Jeff Gordon. I did not like Kyle Busch. I like Dale Jr. Who were your guys that you just could not stand? I have to know.
So for a period of time I did not like Kevin Harvick because when Junior ran out of gas in the Coke 600, I was 9, but I didn't understand the concept. That had nothing to do with Kevin. He just happened to be in the right place, right time. So at that time, I was like, "Hey, Junior didn't win," and then was like, "All right, I'm gonna just be mad at him," So obviously, I realized years later, he had nothing to do with that. And then Brian Vickers, just because of that one Martinsville race where he wrecked 5 people.
Oh, I remember that.
And then another Martinsville race, he wrecked Danica Patrick for no reason. It just yeah. I really don't dislike anybody. Just people.
It happens to him sometimes. Keep going. He'll come back.
All right, cool.
It's okay. My camera got hot.
Just because you're on it.
Mm-hmm.
See,
spicy.
Look at that.
Sexy
Hey,
man, dude.
Yeah. That's that nice guy mentality.
Yeah, gotta hype you up. Nah, but to be honest, I really don't dislike anybody. I just be mad at people's questionable decisions. And my man made some questionable decisions, in my opinion. So I would say, yeah. And then, for a period of time, I can't say I was scared of him because, I didn't meet him. So why would I be scared of like that? Doesn't make any sense. But like I was just like scared at the thought of Ryan Newman just like just like, all right, bro. Like,
That's a scary dude. That's a bouncer. Like he's a bouncer. Like he's the one guy that like comes to you when you ain't paid the rent, dude. Like that's what he looks like, dude.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, but I met him at Daytona, in 2020, and like that dude was so nice, and I was like, well, that fear is debunked. So yeah, that's it.
How about that? Nightmares about Ryan Newman.
Just this is
Newman.
Good. This is he's just coming at you right here. Just
he kind of like doesn't have a neck anymore, right? I don't know.
When did he?
Well, he Newman. We all used to be skinny. We all used to be skinny.
I love Ryan.
Ryan Newman was skinny.
I think he's a great guy. I think he's hilarious. But yeah, dude, he's just that's a buff motherfucker. Like he's a sturdy boy. I don't know how else to describe it.
I did always
a lot of corn.
He got into a good bit of confrontations, but I did always kind of want to see him get like in a fight, like scrap, you know. And I feel like that never happened.
He never has.
Because people knew what was up. Like he had beef with Casey Kane. He had beef with Jimmy. He had beef with
Tony Stewart.
But they all knew what's up. Like it was never like they knew what was going to occur. So it was always just like a conversation, you know?
Dude, you can't hit that man into jejunum, dude. They didn't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like
I remember that one with Jimmy back in like I think it was like 2013 or 2012.
That's what started my fear.
Dude.
Because I was like
he was coming in hot at Jimmy. I remember that.
And a real thing too, since Jimmy was my favorite driver, there's a point of time where he won a championship for half the years I was alive. So like it was really hard for me to adjust for the years like he would win like only a handful of races. I'll be like, damn, why is he not winning? Why is this happening? And that year, 2014, he won I think only 3 races. I say only 3, only compared to his previous years. But he won 3 races, and so that was like an adjustment to get used to. And then like he obviously got in, well, I mean, it wasn't even, it was just a conversation with Newman, but obviously they was mad. I was like, so, yeah.
If you're listening, Raj has been very animated on this with the expressions. You should head over to YouTube and watch.
I love it.
Yeah,
I like animated human beings.
I'm telling y'all, man, I hope I don't make anybody mad, but I don't really care because I want to just be honest. I feel like a lot of the individuals that have the fortune of driving are very, very plain. Like
there's some mayonnaise people out there, bro. Let's be real.
Like I'm gonna be completely honest. You could copy and paste a significant amount of drivers with like their social medias, fire suits, interviews, just the same across the chart, which is it's reliable, you know, it's safe, you know, yeah. But that ain't me. That's just plain. Like,
and that's why we fucking love you.
Well, we respect that. And I think that had been a problem for a while with NASCAR, was that just a lot of dryness and blandness with some drivers. But I feel good, and I want to know your thoughts on this. I'm sure I'm going to assume that you like it, but like the Ross Chastain coming in the Cup and just turning everything upside down. Denny Hamlin over the last 5-6 years has gotten so much more feisty than he was for the first half of his career, right? Like Chase Elliott got into a few things last year as well. So do you feel like there's a wave? I know there still is that blandness, and some people just have that personality of just being quiet and reserved. But do you feel like there is a wave of, and Bubba Wallace is a good example too, with the conversations he's been in. I think all good for the sport. And I want to know if you think, considering everything you just said, that there is a wave of this blandness and dryness kind of going away as we move forward.
I hope so. I hope so. I mean, it's definitely like Ross is a certified bad and he has been a great, like, I don't know, I guess you could say mentor. I don't know. He's given me a lot of advice, and like when I ran second at Kansas, like, he helped kind of cheer me up a little bit. And it's just really been someone I can ask about for questions throughout the year. And so to see, like, and it's honestly just guys like being themselves and coming out of their shell is the way I see it. And it's been cool to see. It shows that some people really are about that life. So some people are not about that life. But it's cool to see. So I mean, I think if guys won't be persecuted for being themselves, then it's all good. Because I'm gonna be honest, man, I'm gonna just be my own self. So I don't really care.
Gotta be you at the end of the day, always, man. That's been my strategy from the time that we started this up. Like, from everything that we have at Garage Guys, like, we want to show that you look at NFL, NBA, MLB, those guys are able to express themselves to the way that they are and who they are, and that should be the same thing across the board, in my opinion, and especially with racing, because if racing is ever going to get to that point to where it's back on the throne, which is what we want, this is why we're big into, I mean, we're always celebrating, the 90s and stuff like that of NASCAR in the early 2000s. It's like, if we want to get there, you got to have real human beings being a part of that process. And you talk about Ross, man, one thing that Dale and I both saw last year, that guy is at every race, man. If he is not, like, he is at the truck race, he's at the Xfinity race, he's in there with the teams, he's looking around, like, he is so hands-on. And so to be able to use him and have him at your disposal to talk with and to get better, like, I feel like that is such a privilege, because, like, people don't get to see that side of Ross on national television. They don't understand what that guy's doing. And so there's other guys in the sport that are like that, but, like, that's them real motherfuckers, dude. Like, that's those people that, like, you want to, like, have on your team, dude, for sure.
I agree with 1,000%. Like, he came into, I ran the ARCA race and the truck race at Bristol, and he came into my hauler, in the truck hauler, to talk with me before I had truck qualifying, just to check in, and not even at first talking about racing, but making sure I was squared away and prepared in the right manner. So there's some real ones out there for sure.
That's admirable. Of course, with Ross, the way he came up through the rankings, it really doesn't even surprise me, like, in the slightest. But I want to talk, and maybe this could be our last point. It's funny, before we started recording, we were like, hey, we won't go over 30 minutes unless we go down some rabbit holes. And we did, but it's been great. And I wanted to just your thoughts on the 2023 season, like, your demeanor. You seem like you're confident. Everything you've told us gives us no reason to believe that you aren't. It's been cool to get to know you. I want to know when you think you're going to be able to have a chance to win a race with GMS, as we talked about a championship program in the past. How confident are you that you can go out in Daytona, or I don't know what the second race of the season is, like Phoenix or something? Probably not Phoenix, but when do you think realistically you could go out there and get your first NASCAR National Series win?
All of them, to be honest. I mean,
I'd expect nothing less. Continue.
Straight up.
I fuck with that energy, man. Like, God, dude, all of them. Let's go.
Like, look, this is the way I see it. Okay. I used to look at, like, myself, like, professionally, like, in a really negative light, and always be like, nah, like, I'm not, like, I don't got what it takes, or, like, I'm sorry, and, like, I don't deserve, the chance that I've gotten. But I kind of changed that throughout this year, just because it's like, I mean, talent is not always proved, by wins, because there's so many other extenuating circumstances that affect finishing results. So I realized really in the back half of this year, like, I could do everything right and things still not occur. Like, I mean, I was a couple feet away from getting a few ARCA wins this year, and that could have changed the complexion of the entire season. I was, a suspension part here or a right front tire blown there away from, again, winning a championship. And, I definitely made mistakes this year, obviously Pocono and where else? I mean, some ARCA races and stuff, and some other times I felt like I executed and it didn't work. So it'd be wrong of me to be like, all right, I'm gonna win X amount of races. You know, I want to finish or have these, you know, statistics because it's not in my control. But what I can control is the effort that I put in and the time that I put in and my overall obsession. And I know that is second to nobody. So with that being said, I hope that I have the confidence that I will be a competitor to win on a weekly basis. And I know that in my heart, but I also understand that things will happen out of my control. So, and I will say that in 3 out of my 4 truck races I ran last year, for especially like the last 10 of the race, I was like the second highest or third highest Chevy truck every one. And I mean, that was balling on budget. So, you know, I ain't got no excuses the way I see it. But to answer your question directly, I'm very confident in GMS and the individuals that we have over there. Chevy is supporting me and the race team and have all the nice bells and whistles. And I mean, I have a full season funded, you know, with the Wendell Scott Foundation and with all my partners. So I ain't got no excuses, but to be honest, man, I think I can be in contention for every single race. And I expect to do my homework, which I will do. And anything else after that is gravy.
It's awesome to see. Yeah, don't forget about finals. That's crazy. I didn't even think about that. You're still in school.
Finals, yeah. Damn.
It's cool to see the legacy of Wendell Scott passed down into a point that helps you be able to race a full-time season in a NASCAR National Series. So we're really excited to see you race full-time. From the betting side of things, can't talk about it. That's going to be fun too. Hopefully we get to see you in victory lane for many reasons, but it's been real fun to get to know you, man.
Is it illegal to tell someone to bet on me? Is that illegal?
I think that in a sense of if you're not talking about sports betting and in general terms, you can probably say bet on me, like, and just keep walking. I think because you know, people could take it out of context if they wanted to, but that's not what you meant. You know, you're just like, I'm confident in me, bet on me to win. You know,
or
what
you
I mean?
could say, or you could
Denny
say,
did it on Twitter.
I bet on myself. I'm betting on myself. Like you could say that I think that would be okay. I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. Michael Jordan said that one time and it was not okay. So there was a time.
I guess I got to pick my words wisely. But
dude, we'll definitely make sure that we stay, you know, that we keep you in the lines on that one. That's kind of our bread and butter. So we always looking out for our boys in the garage, dude. So
appreciate it.
One last thing that I wanted to ask. So obviously my entire life I grew up, I hate country music. I'm a big rap fan. All I really listen to is like rap and like you know, like indie music, rock and stuff like that, blues. Ricky Ross, the boss, Ricky Rose, the man himself. He went to a NASCAR race and I didn't get to shake his hand or meet him and just tell him thanks for making me just want to be a boss my entire life. You got to go to his car show. Have you developed a relationship with him or do you talk to him? Like what's the story? What's the scoop?
I mean, I don't text with him all the time, but we, you know, exchange messages here and there. I think we'll definitely have some collaborations hopefully coming next year. I don't know in what capacity, but we'll see. We got to get him to the racetrack, but he's interested, man.
I love it. He's got a Jimmy Johnson's car.
Dude,
yeah.
Was so awesome because that like Cobalt scheme and it's the COT, like that is my whole childhood. Like that is the NASCAR, although COT was only for 5 years, like that is the NASCAR I grew up watching. So that was also very tough. On that note, I think getting like reputable people in pop culture is going to be the thing that probably helps push racing back into the top 3. Because like if you have like, you know how for the Super Bowl, for example, like you'll have various stars of everywhere, you know, show up. Like you see that seldom, I would say, like maybe for like Phoenix and like the Atlanta races, Daytona, obviously, probably Chicago. But like if we get to that like on a regular basis, I think that's the end game.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly
it
what it's
used-
going to take.
Back in especially in the early 2000s with NASCAR, it seemed like that was the case at almost every single race. And that would be, I think that's paramount for us to get back to that point. Regarding pop culture, I think that's a great point, and I think we're moving in the right direction. I think we're getting there, but there's obviously a lot more work to be done.
1,000%. I mean, you think y'all were infants, but I remember like Jeff Gordon and Britney Spears doing Pepsi commercials, and well, Dale, you were more of like a toddler.
Her
Rajah
at
would
the
have been an
2000,
infant.
her
It
at the
was like 01,
wait,
02.
no, Rajah wasn't born yet, dude. Rajah wasn't
Born.
even born. Yeah,
Damn.
the 2001 Pepsi 400 with Britney Spears, man.
Other than that, dude, thanks so much for being on the show. Congrats again with the deal with GMS. We're excited to see you in the truck series, and 2023 is gonna be lit as fuck. Can't wait for it.
Appreciate y'all boys. It was fun, and I'll see y'all around.
To the moon.